Are you into farming? What is your biggest challenge? Is it the animals? Is it land? Is it people? If it's people, then let's talk today, because today we're going to be talking about people. We're going to talk about how do you get the right people to manage your farm, and what kind of people do you actually need to manage your farm. We, over the past 5 years here at Managerial Farm, has had ridiculous issues and stories when it comes to working with people. For us to be able to grow to this level, guys, it hasn't been easy, and it's taken people, and we've gone through people upon people. I'm saying people with different perception of people in mind. People that are good, people that are thief, people that are not loyal, people that are all kinds of people we have here for us to get to where we are. And I think that is one of the biggest challenge for farmers, especially if you're an absentee farmer and you're probably living in the city, but you have a passion for this, but it's not ready yet for you to come and live on it. So you're trying to do, something there whilst you work and bring money, but somebody to just keep that thing and help you grow it to a certain stage so that both of you can come and work together. It's a simple, straightforward thing, but unfortunately, it doesn't work that way all the time. And that is why today I want to share that experience with you, and hopefully I can give you some education, because it has never been easy, and I know that it is the reason why most of you haven't been able to start. So today, let's go and sit down and talk about how we have been dealing with people here. What kind of people do you need at your farm when you're setting up? And where do you even get them from, right? So if you're interested, then join me as I take my seat and talk about this. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around so that we can all learn together. It's been 5 years of being in the agriculture industry and in livestock industry. And I will be a lie if I tell you that I have figured out everything you need to know about hiring workers. And therefore, I'm going to share with you and you're never going to have problems with staff. No, I might be lying to you if I say that. But what I can promise you is that I have had a good experience with staff. So today I'm going to share 3 things that you need to be able to hire the right person into your farm. Don't go out there and bring just anybody in without knowing what you want, who that person is, or what qualifications you need. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's just jump into it, right? What is the number one thing? The number one thing you need to know is what are the type of workers you need at your farm. So in any farm, whether it's crops, whether it's livestock, you need 2 types of workers. So you need a farm manager, and then you also need 1 extra person, but I'm going to come there. So a farm manager, what is the responsibility of a farm manager? But before you get into the farm manager role, the question is, what role are you going to play in the farm? My role at the farm has changed. It has revolved over the years to so many different things. Now I don't know what to call myself. I started this journey as a farmer during COVID, where I had, free time. So I will be at the farm 24/7 if I need to be, and I will be taking care of the animals, doing everything, learning on the ground and so on. At that point, I call myself a farmer. And then we got to a point where, I was starting this YouTube thing. So now I became a content creator, an agricultural content creator. So I will spend half of my time creating content and half of my time being a farmer. Then all the agri-businesses started developing from the content and from the work we are doing. So now I became an entrepreneur, if you want to call it that way. So now I spend some time at the farm, creating content like I'm doing business, visiting your farms, responding to your queries. So now, personally, I wouldn't say I'm a full-time farmer. So you need to ask the same question about yourself, because the role you intend to play in the farm will depend on the structure you put in place for the success of the farm. I hope you heard that right. The role you want to play in the farm will determine the kind of structure you put in place to have a successful farm. So if you are thinking about being at the farm 24/7, then that we can build a separate structure for you. But if you are in the city, if you're living abroad and you're not going to be at the farm 24/7, then this structure is for you. And that is what fits majority of us, because sometimes when we want to start, we don't have enough capital to start it big, and our farm is not strong enough for us to depend on it. So we tend to do some side hustle or the main job and keep this running for some time before we go back into it. And that is exactly what I'm going to address today. So let's say you are a banker, you're a policeman, you have your fixed job, but you're doing this. What would you need? So you will need two types of people, like I said. So you need a farm manager, and that farm manager is your main point of contact. Is the person who is going to keep the farm running. And this same person is going to be also full-time at the job. Even though he's keeping you updated, he's also going to be physically at the farm every single time. So that's the number one person you need. Number two person you need is a farm hands, what we normally call laborers. But here we don't call them laborers. If you call them laborers, they won't enjoy their job. They can post on TikTok that they are farm laborer. So guys, let's refrain from calling people laborers. They are farm hands. What they do is their hands get dirty. They are the ones at the farm that is making sure that the farm is clean, the animals are caught when they need, so they are there to support the farm manager, right? So these are the two main people that you need at your farm. So depending on the size of the farm, now you can talk about how many farm managers do I need and how many farm hands do I need, right? So I will use, for example, our farm as an example. So we are dealing with livestock, and when it comes into livestock, you know that one of the most important things you need to look at is nutrition. The second most important thing you need to look at is animal health. Then the third most important thing we look at is management, right? So right now, if you have a farm as big as this, then you want to make sure that you have a farm manager who is specialized in nutrition. Nutrition in the sense that making sure that your animals are fed with a proper balanced diet. So here, you guys know we feed our animals 3 times. We give them the palletized feed. That palletized feed comes with a mixture of different composition of nutrients. So your farm manager who is in charge of nutrition will make sure that the composition of mixing that is in the right proportion, because every stage of the animal's life, they need a different composition for their growth. If they are kids, we need to combine different things. If they are pregnant, we need to combine different things. If they are giving birth and giving breast milk, we need to combine different things. So this is very important, and that is why your farm manager, your nutritionist farm manager comes in. So he's in charge of feeding.
Go and find Farming in Africa on Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Instagram, YouTube. You are going to gain a lot more and more from it, and you are going to give a thanks after it, like me. Thank you very much.
The second food we give to them is hay. So if you're going to give hay, that farm manager needs to understand what kind of hay is good for these animals. How is he preparing the hay before giving to them? So there should be somebody focused on food. Then we come to the next farm manager at the farm, which is health. It's basically what we call your veterinary officer. So your veterinary officer is looking at the medications you need to have at the farm, how to use those medications. Your nutritionist is not going to be able to know all the medications, and if these symptoms happen, this is what I need to give, and so on and so forth. So your health farm manager is more of your veterinary farm manager at the farm, who is in charge of the animal's health. Every morning going around, seeing every animal, making sure that they are active, making sure that there is no disease, making sure that whoever is not feeling well is being treated. So he is in charge of that. So when I walk into the farm and I see anything wrong with an animal, he's the one to give me an update. If I'm not in the farm every morning, it is the health manager who is able to give me an update to say, today we have 3 kids who are suffering from diarrhea, or we have 2 goats suffering from pneumonia, and I have done this and this and this and that, right? So that's your health. Then the third manager we have here is for management. So he makes sure that everything is working. So if a pen is broken, if a place needs to be cleared, if the place is not clean, and all of those things. So he's in charge of all of that and making sure that the farm is running. If we need to build something at the farm, the management manager is the one in charge of that, right? And mostly he will be managing most of the farm hands, because the morning activity like cleaning, like serving them with water, activities on the farm and so on, he will be in charge of that. So these are the three managers a commercial farm needs to have. And then based on the size of work, you might decide to have maybe 3 farm hands, 2 farm hands that are going to support the managers, whether the health side, the nutrition side, or even the management side. And therefore, come inside, let's talk about it. Right, because as a commercial farm, you're going to have a lot of different things happening. Don't forget, a farm is also a business. So you need to be able to grow your people. So yes, some people might start as farm hands, but over time they are going to grow and become farm managers because they have the experience, right? So your farm hands are going to support your farm managers. If you don't have a big farm and you're starting small, one person can play all this role. You just have to invest into that person and teach that person, and then gradually that person will learn everything that they need to know about nutrition, about health, or about management. And that is why here we also offer that training. So if you have a farm manager that you want him or her to come to the farm and learn how to manage the animals, either their health, their nutrition, or management, then get in touch with us. We'll be able to organize a 3 months and 1 month training for that person so that he or she can learn. Right, so now that you know the roles that we have, who do you hire as your farm manager? One of the mistakes most of us do when we are hiring is, or we are starting this business, is we just ask, hey, I have a cousin or I have a nephew who is sitting at home doing nothing. You come and take care of my animals, or you come and do this. Have you asked yourself, what is the dream of that cousin, that nephew, or that friend that you are asking to come and take care of your animals? Because you're in abroad and you think the person is here, you think he will do whatever you ask? No, that is not how it works, guys. So make sure that you hire somebody who has already decided to do this. Make sure you hire somebody who is already taking care of his father's animals, or who is taking care of his own animals, or who has done something like this and said, this is what I want to do. When you hire somebody like that, you get to keep the person a bit longer. And it also comes with an experience. Instead of just thinking that, oh, some of your nieces and nephews are staying at home doing nothing, so let me just bring them and they should go and do this. No, trust me, your vision is not their vision. So when they come, they will not stay. And even if they are here, they'll be thinking you're crazy. They are doing it just for you as a favor. You don't need that kind of people to run your business. You need people who are willing and are ready to do what you're doing. Because to do this work, it takes commitment. Every single day, you have to get on your feet and do the same thing over and over, taking care of these babies that we have here, right? So please, do not go and hire your family members just to come in and just do it. There are some institutions out there that you can go to that can give you. If you also need farm workers, get in touch with us. We'll be able to connect you with some of the partnerships we have with other institutions to come and help you with your farm as well. Then the last thing is, what qualification do you need? Do you need somebody who has gone for a degree or a diploma, or do you need somebody with experience? To me personally, I would say qualifications don't really matter to me. To me, what matters is, does the person has any experience and the right characteristic as a human to be able to work with you? Because if you bring a thief into your business, whether it's a construction business, education business, farming business, that thief is not going to help you. So first of all, put the certificates and qualifications aside and look for somebody who is trustworthy, somebody who is loyal, somebody who is hardworking. Once you choose that as a person, then you can now ask what kind of qualification that person has. If we put that aside, then now what I would say is, yes, qualification plays a role, because the person that have gone to school to study animal veterinary science or animal nursing, whatever it is, has made a deliberate decision that I want to work with animals. All right, so bringing that person in, you know that that's what he has schooled for. So now this person, if you treat that person well and everything goes well, he will stay with you for longer, as compared to the person who hasn't figured it out. He's probably walking around, you bring him in, and tomorrow he's like, oh, my mom has opened a shop, I'm going to be a shopkeeper. And I was like, how is that related? How do you leave all the experience you have here to go and be a shopkeeper? You know, so all these things plays a role. And that is why sometimes when you get somebody who has studied agriculture, then you know that at least that person's head is heading towards your vision, and you can groom and train that person alongside. And so that's where the qualifications comes in. But most of the times they are expensive, right? So to get a veterinary fully at your farm, it's going to cost you a lot. So sometimes you're not there yet. So when you're not there, look for the local with the right characteristics or traits, and then groom the person gradually under maybe a part-time veterinary officer or something. And then as time goes on, he's going to gain the knowledge, or you can now afford a veterinary officer as well. And then the last bonus part, which I'm going to give to you guys, is how do you keep them, guys? You know, sometimes we make the mistake of hiring people, but then we give them very poor and bad treatment and conditions. Even though we have invested dollars into our project, the people that we are hiring, we don't invest into them. And if we don't do that, then how do we expect them to be able to take care of it for you, right? So your farm workers needs to be prioritized and be given the same attention and love and care and everything like you would give to your secretary or your accountant, right? So let's try and balance it so that the farm workers will also feel some pride in working with you or in working in the farm. Otherwise, if we treat them anyhow and we treat the office people good, then what do? They all envision being at the office, because who doesn't want to be treated good, right? So we end up not having trust, loyal people to stick with us. So please treat them well, pay them well, and I'm sure they will also stick with you if you have done number 1, number 2, number 3, all right. Let me know in the comment section what your experience is, or if this has been helpful for you. I'll come your way with another video. See you. Bye-bye.